Stay tuned and let's take a look at this Marvel Legends Colossus Build-A-Figure, aka Age of Apocalypse Wave 2, Rogue. Pow and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. And remember, you can now hit that join button and become a channel member as well. Quite simply show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. Today we are taking a look at the Marvel Legends Colossus Build-A-Figure Wave, aka the Age of Apocalypse Wave 2. Now, if you're a fan of this channel, then you know the Age of Apocalypse version of the X-Men is definitely a topic of conversation, as I tried to resist getting Wave 1, but thanks to encouragement from people like Dan Yoon, I ended up getting it and really liking it. The controversy is, as a kid growing up, I was currently watching the X-Men cartoon, the Jim Lee styled X-Men, and then in the comics, it was this version of the X-Men, and it was very confusing. So it's not my favourite version of the X-Men, but I have learnt to appreciate these character designs, and it definitely makes for a colourful sort of corner of the display. And of course, we're getting to some comparisons and all that good stuff. And today, if you couldn't tell already, we are clearly taking a look at Rogue in her very colourful green and yellow uniform. Of course, we get some pieces for the Colossus Build-A-Figure as well, and Rogue comes with some interchangeable hands. So, front of the box, X-Men, Rogue, Age of Apocalypse right there at the top, spin it round, Rogue on the side with Apocalypse peeping through. That same image of Rogue in this uniform at the back of the box, with a little write-up that reads: Rogue moves her way up the ranks of Magneto's X-Men, eventually leading a team of mutants to prevent the culling of mankind. And then, as always, you get a list of all the figures in this wave you need to build the Colossus Build-A-Figure. Today we're reviewing Rogue. So, as always, definitely worthy of conversation, but this one doesn't look too bad at all. Let's get her open. So here we have Rogue out of the box with all of her accessories and Build-A-Figure pieces on the table. So first and foremost, she comes with a Build-A-Figure piece for Colossus, which is looking massive by the way, and an interchangeable fist, so you know the score. Subscribe to the channel, because once we've reviewed all the figures in this wave, we will build and review Colossus, so check out that playlist. She herself just comes with a set of fisted hands, which I like. I think every figure should come with a set of fisted hands for a more neutral pose. So there is nice, I'll move them to the side. But let's just focus on Rogue herself first and give you my first impressions. So how do you think it compares to the actual comic design and a comic image of Rogue? I think they've done a pretty good job of putting that design in plastic. Very colourful, definitely has the elements of Rogue that we recognise with the yellows, the greens, the white or grey in the hair. And yeah, I think this is looking very nice indeed. So let's zoom in and check out that head sculpt. So underneath this massive head of hair, I do think is a really nice female face sculpt, but this hairpiece is massive. If I swing it to the side, you'll see what I mean. Look how much this piece overhangs the face and actually creates shadows over the eyes. I don't hate it though. As I said, it's very accurate to what we see in the comics, and I like her big bright pink lips stands out against the yellows and greens of her uniform. But yeah, really nice eyes as well under there. And the hair is actually two pieces, two separate pieces of molded plastic. You've got the brown hair piece and then this white hair piece, and they've glued it together to create her hair. And I like the way that her hair has been sculpted and angled downwards, so you can really take advantage of the gap here on the back and articulate her head up, so when she's in some flying poses, she can look straight, she can look up, and it looks really good. And her hair is windswept to the front as well. So I like how that's been sculpted. It looks really good. But yeah, as you can see, brown piece of plastic, white piece of plastic glued together to create her hair, but it works really nicely. And yeah, that's a nice female face sculpt under there as well. Let me know what you think in the comments. Regards to the rest of her outfits, really bright yellows and greens, and she's got this collar which is very stylized, similar to a lot of designs we see in AOA. You'll recognize it from Magneto himself. That's a separate piece of plastic. You can see it will literally lift up there on the front, but it is plugged in on the back. It can come out, of course, if you can see that there is a peg and a plug, so you can plug it in so it will sit in place nicely. And yeah, it's a nice little collar piece for Rogue. But yeah, that is plugged in there at the back. There's also a peg hole for like capes or stuff, but she didn't come with a cape. She does have a cape in certain panels of the comic, but maybe they plan to give her one. Maybe this is just reuse. But yeah, you get a plug, but no cape. But yeah, overall, looking really nice. Again, a character that design that's definitely going to pop on the shelf. Look how bright these colours are. So a lot of yellow up front, sort of like a yellow leotard, and then she's got the green puffy sleeves, which are pinless, as we would expect. But it does unfortunately hinder the double joint. There's no double joint, just a single jointed arm there. But it's Marvel Legends, we're used to that by now. In the future, we know it's confirmed now we're going to get a double jointed female elbow. But for now, this works. The puffy sleeves do hinder the articulation at 90, but you can still get it to 90, I think. And if you take advantage of that sort of diaphragm joint as well, you can definitely get her in the poses you wanted to. But yeah, the single elbow there with the puffy sleeves and down to this lighter green on the forearms. And then on her arm herself, her actual hand, you can see she's wearing her gloves, but this bit of plastic is a separate piece. So you can actually attach that to the wrists so it stays in place, or you can let it just overhang and yeah, it looks like a separate piece of the glove. But yeah, these sort of cuff pieces are a separate bit of plastic, as you can see, attached on there, but it will obviously come loose and hang over the hand. But yeah, that's just a small detail. Same on the other hand. Moving down to the legs. Her legs again are this mix of dark green that we're used to Rogue, with this sort of more lime green with the yellow highlights. This is a separate piece of plastic. This sort of does slide down though, unfortunately, but it will just sort of slide back up and just sort of rest there. I know some people like gluing them in place, but it sort of fits there snugly enough. If you pull it, it will come down, but yeah, that's a separate piece. Moving down to the boots. Now, these are some nice boots. We've got the big red bits here at the top, and it looks like there should be a boot cut up here, but there's no boot cut at all. It's just a sculpted design, and it looks like she's wearing big space boots, doesn't it? But I'm not mad about it, because sometimes female Marvel Legends are hard to stand, and we're not going to have this problem with Rogue. So I like that. It sort of looks like a Pokeball, doesn't it? A yellow and green Pokeball with a red dot. But I like that. The big black sort of boot cuff, if you will, and we even get some treads on the bottom of the feet as well. But yeah, overall, this design is very, very nice. As I said, a design that is very accurate to what we see in the comics from the source material, and it's also going to pop in the display. So yeah, just as we're here now, we'll just go for articulation one more time. Single jointed elbow, as I said, the arms will go up to 90, spin all the way around, as you know. Head, great range looking up, and she can look down a little bit, but the hair will hinder that. No, obviously, waist cut or anything, or waist swivel, but there is a diaphragm joint up there at the top, like we're used to with female Marvel Legends. There is a cut at the top of the thigh as well, but if you do start articulating that, it will cut up the design of the legs. Legs will go out without that much, so she can't really do the splits. Go forward quite a bit though. She can do a big boot with these space boots. Back, not so much either, but that's fine. Double jointed knees is not bad at all. She can kick her own butt if she wanted to all day long. And then she has got a nice ankle pivot and then a hinge on the foot as well. So as you would expect, standard Marvel Legends articulation, if you will, for a female. And yeah, just a very stylized character design. But I think this is nice and going to be a nice addition to the display. And before we jump into some comparisons, here we have Rogue with her interchangeable fisted hands. And as I said at the start, I think all figures should come with a set of fisted hands, just so you can get them in more neutral poses without the expression. And yeah, I think these are nice. It's always nice to have options for the display. So here we have our AOA Rogue compared to my mind's eye version of Rogue, the 616 Jim Lee version of Rogue. And we have both versions here. We have the Juggernaut Build-A-Figure version. Remember when this one was really expensive. And then here we have, in my opinion, the improved retro version of Rogue. And she, of course, came with that interchangeable hand, so you can have holding the glove, which is really nice. So as you can see, this character design definitely takes elements from the 616 with the greens and the yellows, and obviously she's got the white bit in the hair. So you can see how it's an alternate reality version of Rogue, and I think it works really nicely, to be fair. They're all scaled at about the same height as well. So I'm sure you, like me, are curious, can we do some hand swaps and maybe get this Rogue with these hand accessories? To answer the question, yes, they can. So as you can see, now we have our AOA Rogue with the gloveless skin hand there, and then she is also holding the glove there, and you can see I've used the same glove collar piece from the Rogue AOA Rogue and just took it off on this this side. So you can definitely make it work. And yeah, she's holding a glove now. So that looks really good. The yellows are so similar. Like, no one's going to notice that the yellows are off. They may actually be the same yellow. I can't tell, and I'm sat here with it right in front of me. So I think that is spot on. The yellow of the Juggernaut Wave Rogue is obviously more of a mustardy yellow, and the yellow on the Retro Rogue is a lot brighter. But you can swap the hands out. It works. Shall we try swapping the head? So yes, the head will pop in there from the Retro Rogue, but I don't think that particularly works for the character design, if I'm completely honest. However, if I bring in the Retro Rogue with this AOA head on there, I think that's a certain look there, you know, with the jacket collar just hanging over the hair and the hair swept forward. That fits on the peg nicely. You're going to have not a lot of articulation on there, to be fair, but it definitely works better this way around than that head on here. But maybe you've got options. Here we have our AOA Rogue with another Rogue. I call this my Avengers Rogue, if you will, with the dark green. But yeah, another Rogue comparison. We don't have an AOA Gambit yet, but it is still nice to see Rogue and Gambit together. So here we have the Retro Gambit with the AOA Rogue. And Gambit's design in AOA is drastically different as well. Still takes elements of this one, but yeah, maybe room for a wave 3. Dare I say it? Here we have Rogue compared to another couple of AOA ladies, as we have Blink, who wasn't technically part of the AOA wave, but is an AOA character. And then we have Jean Grey, who was part of the Sugarman Build-A-Figure wave. So yeah, we're starting to rack them up now. And of course, it's only right that I compare these AOA figures with Apocalypse himself. So here we have Age of Apocalypse Rogue compared to Age of Apocalypse Apocalypse. And last, but by certainly no means least, here we have AOA Rogue compared to Captain Britain and Worthy. How? Fire. Hank. So, final thoughts. I really do genuinely like this character design for Rogue. I know, I'm contradicting myself. I always say I don't like the AOA designs. However, I'm allowed to like one or two. And this one is still, for me, recognisably Rogue with like a little alternative twist, which is exactly the point. So I think this is going to pop on the shelf. And I think this is a very nice Marvel Legend. Very accurate to what it's meant to represent from the comics as well. But as always, you let me know what you think in the comments below. Of course, there's still plenty of comparisons I can do with this one. In the comic herself, she's going out with Magneto. So when I open Magneto, of course, I'm going to see what the happy couple look like together. But yeah, just Rogue herself, first and foremost, to start out this wave. We're off to a good start. She is looking good. Even if she only does come with interchangeable hands, what else could they have given us? I guess they could have gave us a cape, interchangeable head. But again, I'm a greedy boy. What can I say? You let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you want to keep checking out Marvel Legends reviews, then you're in the right place. Please, please, please hit that subscribe button. Much appreciated. You can also hit that join button and become a channel member as well. Quite simply show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. You can follow me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. And I'm on Twitter as well at Dan Who Reviews. And until then, people, my name is Dan W. And I will, of course, see you on the next one.